in inglese sulla attualità della tradizione veda. Grazie di essere qui, a lei la parola.
Honorable Chairman Sir, Mr. Agustin, all honorable speakers and honorable audience, I bow my head to you all as the representative of the Almighty. We have been talking about the religion, the hope, but at the micro level. In the process of globalization, there has been a very big change happening every day in our own house, in our own families, through the information technology as well as education system, and we are all changing quietly and we are all affecting the peaceful environment of the world. I will speak about that micro state level. The vital element of peaceful life in Indian culture is Dharma. And Dharma is the innate nature of every individual which sustains and gives identity to a person. Religion, on the other hand, is expression in a group of followers of a given philosophy. Now this identity is the reflection of person's dual nature, which we call masculine as well as feminine. Now Dharma is the art of maintaining balance between this masculinity and femininity. Masculinity has in it aggressiveness, egoistic tendency and intolerance as against femininity, which combines submissiveness, receptivity, creativity and quality of nourishment. It is devoid of desires for returns. As far as the problem of peace is concerned, we have to be subordinated to the feminine traits, and Dharma is also a guiding factor for desires, actions, wealth, and at last salvation. A woman acts like a mother earth. She receives the seed and makes it grow into a tree which bears fruits for society. She does not enjoy the fruits herself. She also inculcates the characteristics of motherhood in her spouse, which help him to attain salvation. Now she is the desire incarnate who triggers a sacred desire in the heart of her spouse. Now despite the much acclaimed modern education and desired material growth, why is it that the world is not moving towards peace? There are so many conferences, seminars and publicity campaigns to establish peace in the world, but all these are moving futile. On the contrary, we are moving towards terrorism and violence. Today, once again, we, all the intellectual as well as spiritual people from across the world, have assembled here in peacemaking efforts with the hope that someday peace will prevail. There are regular surveys around the world on narcissism. Recent studies reveal that more than half of the women are deliberately imitating masculine traits. Now this means 3/4 of the world population follows masculine path, which means that 3/4 population is physically strong, highly intellectual and aggressive in behavior, but lacking in emotional strength. Love and peace belong to the heart and not to the head. Obstinate, egoistic, intellectuals are bereft of inner peace. It is so because the modern system of education does not aim at promoting human values among children. Now it is not concerned with transforming the human society, nor does it teach how the human being should behave with nature. Of course, it strengthens a person's physical as well as intellectual capacities, but it does nothing to develop his emotional and spiritual qualities to which peace belongs. Now, thus it produces incomplete and unbalanced human being. In principle, education should take care of the common needs of a man and woman. But what we discover today is that both a boy and a girl are taught the same contents. However, a girl needs to know many more things about life than a boy. Now there seems to be a sense of discrimination here, and this prejudice continues all through the cycle of life. With all the youth and cry about the empowerment of women or equality, things are moving in the complete opposite direction. Today she is more worried about her own security and honor than her duties as a woman. I see cases of girl-child infanticides also growing fast. Social environment across the world is becoming more pro-man, and it results in the loss of respect for family. Hence, the concept of family life is also shrinking. One lives for oneself without thinking of a person next to him or her. Not only woman even, but even the man has drifted away. His aggressiveness is increasing rapidly, and his greed is posing a threat to his own existence. This is a theme in every age, and for this we need to invoke Dharma. An intellectual communication touches the intellect of the audience, while an emotional communication touches the heart. The emotional communication alone transfers a person, and it is not conversation but transformation at the level of the heart alone can bring about peace. Indian wisdom tells us to follow the feminine route. Every person is partly male and partly female, though in a varied ratio. The mortal body comes from parents, but the soul is immortal. It has existed for time immemorial. Gender and form of the body is the result of our karmas or deeds in the past. The fruit of the peace or violence are produced as a result of our karmas. When we want to nurture our deeds with aggression for want of our own security, it will not result in peace. We need to work for someone else's peace, lest he or she should disturb our peace. Peace today is also a subject of international negotiation. The word diplomacy itself denotes no peace. Nations do talk peace, but resort to its opposite intentionally. The common citizen is never taken into confidence, but is forced to pay the cost. When a war breaks, even a mother can be seen killing someone else's children to achieve the goal of peace. Our education, devoid of emotional and spiritual ingredients, is producing ruthless but intellectual creatures. The gateway to peace is love. When we learn to love, even our enemy's heart undergoes a change, or when we have no enemy at all. Every male at the second of life is transformed into an emotional female devotee, full of love and peace. Each woman as a wife teaches this love and peace route to her husband, and this is the natural course of life for every human being who lives with a spouse. The relationship between husband and a wife is based on mutual understanding, where none of the two is superior or inferior, but either of them has to submissive as per the demand of the opinion. So we can easily imagine the state of the society where half of the women are not willing to live like women. Now this materialist woman hardly believes in the world of heart and value system. Now she wants to imitate man's lifestyle. Her children would be very different from those born to an emotional woman. The emotional woman is aware of the arrival of new soul in her body, and by concentrating on the behavioral changes in her routine life, like thoughts, feelings, dreams, etc., she will try to define it. She can infer from which body the soul has come to her family. Now accordingly, she will transform the soul into a human soul. Through talking, singing, telling stories, etc. Now the soul synchronizes with the human body. Now the soul use this body like a human being. If the soul is not transformed, it will use it body as the body of its previous birth, maybe of an animal or a bird. Now it is bound to disturb the peace of human society, and this is what is happening today. To create peace, the only golden path is to live like a seed, grow into a tree and bear fruits for the society. Forgetting one's ego, if the seed is worried about its own security, there would be no trees and there will be no fruits on the earth. Just as the famous Urdu poet says, मिटा दे अपनी हस्ती को अगर कुछ मर्तबा चाहे कि दाना खाक में मिलकर गुले गुलजार होता है. The process of peacemaking starts from the mother, who has to create a value system congenial to peace in her sons and daughters on whom depends the peace of the society. In Upanishads, it has been clearly said that the mother is the first teacher and must be honored like a divinity. Matra Devo Bhava. The goal seems distant today, and half the women of this century are not ready to live like women, come what may. And though the ego of the intellect is burning her, and in turn it is also burning the society, where each other is devoid of love and peace. Only emotional mothers can produce loving mankind. That there are three paths to achieve the ultimate goals of life. One is the path of action, path of knowledge, and path of devotion. The traits of the femininity form the essential basis of all these three paths. In the path of action, the fruits are to be forsaken. In the path of knowledge, the ego of doership has to be abandoned. And in the path of devotion, unconditional surrender to the will of the Almighty is necessary. Obviously, any one of these paths has no meaning without feminine traits. Therefore, Manu, from whom the word Manav or man comes, said that all divinities are pleased when women are honored. Yat naryastu pujyante namante tatra devata. In Rig Veda, the oldest book of the world, it is stated that Saraswati, the goddess of learning, has claimed that she unites the nations. Aham Rashti Sangamani. Now, this is a statement which underlines the unity, strength of the feminine trait, which is so essential and so indispensable for peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gulab Kothari ci ha parlato di un problema nella cultura della globalizzazione, e questo problema è quello della cultura materialistica che accompagna la globalizzazione, quella cultura che fa ingigantire l'ego del fare, l'ego dell'aggressività verso l'altro, mentre invece, e questo è molto vero, la pace chiede di sviluppare altro, emozioni, sentimenti, spiritualità, e qui certamente il grande tema del rapporto tra femminile e maschile è cruciale per costruire una convivenza di pace. Ora il piacere di introdurre Monsignor Machado, arcivescovo della diocesi di Vasai in India,